So the first thing I want to walk you through, we have a production pipeline that executed earlier, and we have some errors, right? So we have a couple of issues within that schedule. Paradime offers a webhook integration to Jira, which means that on the back of those jobs failing, we can create Jira tickets. So far, all good. Now the question is, something broken, somebody has to fix it, right? What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use DinoAI and use our Jira integration to basically look at how we can solve that bug and how we can solve those issues. This is our code IDE. We have a common project here with a bunch of models. I'm currently on the main branch. And what I'm going to do is open the DinoAI panel, and I'm going to choose a tool, which is the Jira tool here, and I'm going to paste in a prompt, which is, hey, Dino, I have a production run that failed this morning. Details are in this Jira ticket. Can you help me resolve it? So using the agent to basically fetch information about the ticket and take a set of actions on the back of that. So what we just saw is the agent was asking, okay, can I access the ticket? Can I see some of the information that is there? Was able to find what kind of errors were part of the ticket. And because I'm on the main branch, the first thing that it's going to do now is use our terminal tool and create a new branch for me using the Jira ID, so following the best practices on how to work with them. Now he's basically going through this pretty interesting use case where he's actually listening in my environment the issues that were part of the ticket, and also starts scanning through and reading through those files. So effectively, it's trying to walk it out. What was the error, how to fix it? If we go back just before here, okay, there was one error here related to an invalid column, another error related to an unexpected alias there, and then some other column-related issues. So after reading through the files, the agent is able to autonomously going and finding what are the files or models that it needs to fix. It was able to come up with a set of actions. So the first thing we want to use our integration to Snowflake, which allows the agent to fetch in real time metadata of our databases, schema, table, columns. All these things are required to get as much context as needed to work with our DBT model. So I can click on accept here. And what is happening now is fetching related to these schemas and tables is trying to find effectively what is the right column in there and what those things are. So one of the key features of the agent is the ability to autonomously fetching this information right from the database. So it's not going about, okay, let me just double check a couple of things. So it's searching for the sources that I have in there, is trying to investigate what are the information that is required to basically resolve these tasks. So as we hear, the first thing is, okay, well, can you look into the F1 database and inside the schema? So it's asking more information, providing the right level of results there. Now there is a little bit better what to look for. It's going to go and look for this source table, trying to understand more about the columns that are part of it. And I think that's the beauty of this kind of like agentic experience, that the human is in the loop, right? So we work alongside the agent itself to try and find issues and solve them. The first thing now is it's able to find the columns and the tables. And it's basically suggesting the first fix here, which is, okay, I found basically that there was a column misconfigurations there. Can I update the file? I can click on accept. So the first file is now updated. And now it's going through, okay, let's go ahead and check the other table, the other issue I had with it. So I can click on accept. It's now finding metadata related to that table that had a bug before, and ultimately looking at the actual SQL file and SQL model to understand what needs to be fixed and how it needs to be fixed. So it's suggesting more fixes, more resolution. In this case, it's related to this casting we have in Snowflake. Then ultimately is looking at the races table here and looking at how to best solve the last bug that we had there around the production pipeline that just failed, right? You find that the issue seems to be with the join condition and using race ID and not ID, so kind of classic primary key, surrogate key problem. Now the last files that needs to be solved there, and really taking us through step by step all the different actions and configuration that had to be updated for us to resolve this problem now. So on the back of that, we went and looked at, we did also a bunch of renaming. We'll look into how this actually works within Paradime. And fundamentally, we resolved the first set of issues. So I can click on accept now. This is how we can go through a workflow where the agent is able to do a few things. It can fetch metadata from a Jira ticket or a Jira issue. So the place where normally we'll be recording and auditing code changes and things that are part of our work. Was able to get more context from the repository, having a live connection to our Snowflake account, so that was able to fetch metadata related to our tables, schemas, and databases, again, enriching the context, and then using the terminal tool to create a branch, but as we can see now, also to complete and finalize those steps, right? Which is, okay, now I want to also finalize this process by creating a commit and kind of defining what kind of changes and work we've been doing here. So basically going through an end-to-end flow without me touching anything related to the code base in a way. So this is pretty exciting. I think it's one of the things that is shifting completely the way how we operate within our DBT project. Like having all these different tools and the agent can interact with it autonomously is pretty exciting. It's something we're super excited about Paradime for what we build and what we are continuing building. So that's why I say Cursor for Data is a lot about this, right? So how the human interaction fits into the agentic experience and how we can provide the right level of tools and parameters to the agent to do the right thing, but also keeping us in the loop.